Hi, I'm Ashwin, and I'm here about to talk about my project, the Kinect MIDI controller. This software allows you to use the Microsoft Kinect sensor as a MIDI controller for your digital audio workbench applications. A lot of digital audio production suites like FL Studio, Acid Pro, Ableton Live, etc. allow you to use hardware MIDI controllers as MIDI input devices. So my application here, it allows you to use a Microsoft Kinect sensor as a MIDI controller. So here's how it works. The Kinect sensor reads the coordinates of my body, it's my skeleton, and sends them as signals to my computer via the USB cable. These signals are then decoded by the Microsoft Kinect .NET SDK that was released recently. So my application converts these signals from the Kinect sensor into MIDI messages and sends them to a virtual MIDI port. So creating a virtual MIDI port is a simple task. There are many applications in the market which allow you to create a virtual MIDI port that can be detected by digital audio workbenches. So I'm using a free and very nifty little tool called Loop MIDI. So let me show you my Loop MIDI port. So here it is. So this is the Loop MIDI application, and this is the port that I've created. So my port here is called Loop MIDI port. You can name it anything you want. So now my port is created. I'm going to connect my application to this MIDI port. So here's what I'm going to do. So this is my application, and here I'm going to select the Loop MIDI port that I just created. So that's selected. So now the Kinect sensor displays three different video frames. So the frame that we are interested in right now is skeleton frame. It's not showing anything right now because it's not detecting my body yet. As in when I enter into the Kinect sensor's range, it will start showing the skeleton. Now my software reads the X and Y coordinates, that's the vertical and horizontal coordinates of my left and my right hand. So that makes it four different controllers. So these four parameters, that's the XY coordinate of my left hand and the XY coordinate of my right hand, are converted into four different MIDI messages. So to send these MIDI messages to the virtual MIDI port, I have to configure the port addresses in my application. So these controllers here, they allow me to do exactly that. So I have to configure the port addresses in my application. So each port address has a unique channel and controller number combination. So let me create them. So for the x-axis of my left hand, I'm going to use, it can be any port number, any channel number, and any controller number. So I'm going to use channel number 2 and controller number, let's say 17. So the controller numbers range from 1 to 127. You can select any one of them. So there you go. And for the y-axis, I'm going to select, let's see, channel number 1 and controller number 16. And for my right hand, the x-axis, I'm going to select channel number 3 and controller number 18. And for the y-axis of my right hand, I'm going to use channel number 4 and controller number 19. So now all the controllers have been configured. I can start sending MIDI signals to my digital audio workbench software. So let me click on start sending. So you can use any DAW application that are commercially available in the market. For the purpose of this demo, I'm going to use FL Studio. You'll just as easily be able to use this application with any commercial digital audio workbench that can communicate with a hardware MIDI device. So now that my device has started sending MIDI signals, let me configure my FL Studio instance to look out for these MIDI signals. So there are many knobs here, right? So you can configure any of these knobs to listen to a particular MIDI signal. So For the purpose of this demo, I have this 1 minute long sample track. It's a string orchestra that I created. So I'm going to control the volume knob of this particular track with my left hand. So I'm going to use the y-axis of my left hand to control the volume. So let me just hook up the MIDI signals. So I'm going to click on this button and I'm going to tweak this knob to let FL Studio know that that's the control I want to hook up. And now let me send a signal from my application. So I'm on the y-axis. So FL Studio has detected the signal, so now it will start listening to that particular signal to control that knob. So similarly, there are two other controls here. I'm going to use the right hand to control these two knobs. So the x-axis of this modulation control will be controlled by the x-axis of my right hand, and the y-axis will be controlled by the y-axis of my right hand. So let me just hook up those controls as well. So I'm going to click on this button, I'm going to tweak this, and I'm going to send a signal from my application. So it's hooked up, and similarly I'm going to hook up the Y knob. So I'm going to just tweak that. Let me send a signal from here. So it has been detected. So yeah, so we are all set. Let's make some music. So I'm going to mute all the applications here, and I'm going to start playing the audio, and then I'm going to go stand in front of the Kinect sensor and move my hands around, and my hands are going to control these knobs. So here we go. I'm going to play the song now.